Hey everybody, it's Trigger Bar Philosopher back out at the range today. Today I'm going to be running the Ruger SFAR, but this time with a properly tightened on gas key, a new Gen 2 Ruger regulator, and a validated gas block that has been insured to be tight. Can I get this running on 7.62 NATO and 308 ammo? Let's see. Okay, so smooth brain that I am, I did not bring my microphone with me, so I did my best job to mime, even though I could, actually you might be able to hear a lot of the sounds in the background, but here I am just shooting that Magtech. This is 7.62 by 51 NATO, and I'm just kind of checking, you know, I actually re-put on my scope, so I wanted to make sure that I got it re-zeroed in. Also had to put on a new muzzle brake because of previous incident. I wasn't able to attach my suppressor given that I had ruined my Dead Air Xeno adapter for the suppressor. So here I am, I have the JMac Customs adapter. It's got a full 360 muzzle brake, and I just have the end cap on it. So if you're wondering what's going on with my brake, it's kind of cool. It directs the sound downrange instead of to the people to the side of me. So I've just kind of sped this up. The first magazine runs really well with the 308 or with the 7.62 ammo. This is with the Regulator, new from Ruger. This is with a normal buffer spring from Ruger. This is with and the normal buffer weight that came from Ruger with all original. The only thing different is the comp on this, and I've tested that and proved that that doesn't change anything. So what I'm doing now is I'm shooting some Hornady. I think it's the LDX type super performance type ammunition, and that seems to run fine, which is kind of crazy. So I thought I was all good to go and everything was great, and didn't really, thought, hey, maybe now that I have this gas key properly torqued down, I'm not getting gas into my face. It's kind of so much less gassy. It's so much more pleasant to shoot when you don't have the gas key leaking gas and blowing it directly back into your face. And it's running reliably and all is good. And so many times this has happened with this SFAR. And I'm like, geez, what the freak? So you tighten up the gas key and everything runs great. So I said, okay, cool. I've got some Ammo Inc. 168 grain, Boltel hollow point. Let's just put this into the gun and let's just run it. I've got some speed ups going on because this gets a little bit boring, but guess what? After just a few shots, Ruger decides, the SFAR decides to do its freaking normal thing, which is stop running. As you can tell here, I get a case that doesn't fully extract, and what I've learned is that probably means is that the bolt carrier group is coming back too fast, so I've got to slow it down for this ammunition. It's probably a higher performance ammunition than what I had. Actually, that other ammo was a Norma ammo and was not a Hornady, so probably underpowered. So what I need to do is slow this bolt down just a little bit. But the first thing I did was, hey, is my bolt carrier group really tied down? And it is. It's remaining, and I just go the extra effort. I have my torque wrench. I just go in, just want to make sure it's still at 55 pounds, and it is. It didn't move at all. So yeah, so I load up some more ammunition, and I decide, hey, maybe I'm going to go to the H buffer spring. And when I'm doing the H buffer string, I decide at the same time I should put back in a Geisley braided buffer spring. I'm a little suspect of some of the Ruger parts, so I put back in my Geisley buffer spring and I put in this H buffer weight just to slow it down a little bit. In the past, I went up to the H3, and I didn't want to just jump to that. I wanted to go slowly through it, and so here you are. I'm putting the Geisley braided buffer spring. I'm putting that H buffer weight in to slow it down just a little bit. I want to move slowly into this to see if I can get performance out of this. And again, I am on gas block setting 2. And so, which is really where I want to be, because I want to be able to, if I have something underpowered and it's not cycling enough, I can go up to 3, or if it's overpowered, I can go down to 1. So I kind of want everything to kind of just cycle on 2. And that's I think with this new regulator, gas regulator, I can achieve. So that's what I'm hopeful for. So I'm just going to keep testing it with it and try to get it back in. Okay, so I want to start back at the beginning. Let's go back to the 7.62 NATO. Let's try running that again, see if it will run. Again, I've sped things up. It looks like it's running. I'm able to get through all the 7.62 NATO with the H buffer spring in it. And then next I'm gonna try the ammo ink again, see if with the H buffer spring that's gonna work. And sure enough, as I put the ammo ink ammo back in, the first shot, and any guesses? Yep, absolutely. First trigger pull, and we get another a failure to eject. Again, the bolt carrier group is outrunning the extraction of the round, and so not giving it time. So I'm gonna keep going and add more buffer weights. Okay, so now I have the H3 buffer in and the Buffalo Bore 308, which is a bit spicier loaded ammunition. And I'm going to shoot it, and everything seems to be running well. I'm just going to slow it down so you can see the extraction just a little bit better on one of the rounds that's fired. It seems to be, doing a pretty decent extraction pattern and seems to be going well. Now I'll just kind of speed it up to more regular speed. Fired that all well. Now next I'm just going to go back and test, and the thing that's happening really is I'm running out of ammunition. With all the testing that I've been doing, I don't really have much time for it. So I go back to this Buffalo Bore, I slowed it down so you can see the extraction pattern there, and then I'll speed it up again to get through the rest of the ammo. But super excited that it's kind of running on the lower pressure 7.62 NATO and the higher pressure Buffalo Bore with this H3 buffer weight in it, and on setting 2 with the new gas regulator. I'm going to try some hand loads that I have for my bolt action. I can only get one in at a time because I've customized the length of the bullet to fit the lands of my bolt action Vanguard Weatherby bolt action rifle, and they're past the standard, so they don't fit. They're too long. So I decide to just kind of fire one at a time. You can get a little bit better look, see how they're just a little bit longer. And the reason this is important is because I was trying to use any kind of random rounds. I had some leftover rounds from reloading that, some bullets that weren't quite in the area that I wanted for my other rifle. And, those are just kind of, warm-up rounds as I usually treat them. Okay, next up, I put my suppressor on. It's the Dead Air Nomad LT so it's the Nomad L with the titanium, so it's super lightweight hunting. And I did have a little bit of a weird extraction there on that first one, and they're definitely going a little bit more forward, so this is a bit over gassed for it. But again, in terms of like gassing, compared to when my gas key was there, there's hardly any gas coming back into my face. There's a little bit from the suppressor, but that's kind of normally been my experience. You shoot suppressors, you got to be expecting some gas. So at this point, I have it running with the H3 buffer weight, the new spring, the new regulator. I've tried it on suppressed and unsuppressed, but only on this setting. I've only been able to try it with 2 varieties of ammo. As I've shown today, you need to try it with more than 2. As I showed in this video, when I used the 308 Norma ammo and then switched to the ammo ink, it stopped running. So now I've got Buffalo Bore and 7.62 running. Now I need to get some other ammunition to test it out to see if this thing is reliable. I thought I might take a look at our brass patterns from our shooting. We definitely have some over here at 3 o'clock. We've got some here at 2 o'clock. We've got some here at 1 o'clock. And the gun is right here. So maybe 1, maybe 2. 2:30, we got some brass going out that way. Then we come back here, we've got a bunch of brass at 3, 2:30, and a whole bunch of brass. I think this is where mostly the 7.62 NATO was going. So heading out this way, take just a couple of random looks at, see what some of these cases are looking like. They don't look bad. They aren't being chewed up like they used to be. Used to be way overpressured and seeing tons and tons of head stamps on them and torn rims and things like that. So I do think this regulator is doing something good. I think it's probably worth, many people have put in the comments I should switch to a regular gas adjustable gas block. I think it's probably worth doing that at this point, seeing that you can get this gun to function if you have everything properly staked and torqued down, and you have the right amount of gas in it. So All right, please let me know what you think. Please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.